Welcome back to Tendencies. I'm Jay Suave,
I'm Jreese.
and we are back with another episode. If you tuned in last time, I want to say thank you for tuning in again. If this is your first time, welcome. And we're going to get into who we are as people and what kind of motivated us to do this, who inspired us just growing up, and how we grew up, and, just stuff like that. So, to start off, Jreese, who are you and what kind of motivated you to get going with the stuff you're doing now?
All right. Like you said, I'm Jreese. People call me Jreese, but my name's Jaden Reese. I grew up, in the DFW area. I was born in Plano. Grew up in Frisco. That's where I spent most of my life. Around there, I haven't really left. Even though right now we are at, the University of UNT, I don't have to go that far from home, so I'm still really close with my family. I still stay close, and I travel back and forth between here and there. But about me, I basically, we're both media arts majors, so we're both looking to break into the media industry. But where we vary is you want to get into more of the sports broadcasting, become more of a sports analyst type of guy, while I'm trying to break into the film industry and the TV industry. Work more, where I'm making movies, making TV shows, and stuff like that. That's just a little bit about me. But what about you?
So, I'm Jay Suave on here. My name is Jalen Alexander. I grew up in the deep heart of Texas. Some people might like that. And outside of this, I'm also a student at the University of North Texas. I like to play video games and I like to hang out with my friends. Just stuff that normal people would like to do. And me being at the University of UNT, I kind of decided I used to be a business major, but going into my sophomore year, I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. And I definitely wanted to work in sports, but the way business kind of brought me here, it wasn't giving me the aspect of things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be on camera. I wanted to be an analyst like Mike Garofalo, Adam Schefter, like people like that. And seeing those people kind of live out a dream and seeing a lot of people want to be in the sports industry kind of helped me to figure out what I want to do. And I just love analyzing and watching football. I have a TikTok account and Twitter account. Both names are Sergey Suave. I'm on Twitter more, but y'all get the gist. It's kind of easier to be on Twitter.
Speaking of, people like Adam Schefter and those kind of people, who are those the only people that, who inspired you to pursue your, dream of being that sport analyst, or you have other guys in there like, Stephen A. or Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharp right now, who's really popular amongst people, the audiences?
Yeah, I won't say necessarily like inspire me because I kind of want to like be my own, but those guys are definitely like up there to guys you want to be on the same level as,
Yeah, of
but you
course.
still want to be you in a sense. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So me being me, you kind of look at guys like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith was writing over in Philadelphia for almost 20 years,
Yeah.
and then ended up getting his own show. But it just takes so much dedication and passion to just kind of do all this stuff and be so dedicated to the game and being so dedicated to watching every day, studying your craft every single day. And just speaking to that, how have you been able to dedicate your craft and going to school, just trying to pursue your dream?
Yeah, going into college, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, right? I was, we met, playing football and whatnot. So for a long time, I was interested in going into the sports field. I knew I wasn't going to be big enough for, I was going to be good enough to play at the next level. But, I still wanted to look for something I could do behind the scenes a little bit. So I got into sports management. And while I was in sports management, that's when I learned a little bit more about marketing and advertising. And then I was like, well, this is pretty okay, pretty fun, and it's not that hard for me. I'm pretty good at this. So going into college, that's what I started out doing. I started out my first year as a marketing major, but then, funny enough, the thing that got me into media, film and TV and stuff like that, because I was always really interested in that aspect of my life. That really took a big portion of my life, watching stuff like that. So I was already interested in that, but the thing that really took me is like, yeah, I want to do this. I was watching an episode of Family Matters, with Steve Urkel was the one that made me be like, I could do this, because Steve Urkel, a lot of people may not be like, he's a little weird and some stuff like that. But growing up, I really related to Steve Urkel. I felt like I was a little dorky, a little nerdy, and Steve Urkel was real proud of that. You know what I'm saying? Steve Urkel didn't really care about what other people thought. He was doing him, and I was like, that's a relatable story that related to me. And I was like, at one point, I want to be able to create my own stories and my own things that people can relate to and people can, get that same sense of attachment with. So, that's when I decided, I'm going to switch to media arts, making film. Because that was already going to be my minor when I had transferred over to a bigger university. But then I was like, I'm going to put my full focus into this with the marketing as, kind of background I can fall into if this doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of want to piggyback off what you said there. You had talked about how we had met playing football, and that was your sophomore year. I was a freshman at the time. And we even had a class my freshman year. And
that's when we first, kind of started talking to each other.
Yeah, and this guy thought it was the coach's son, bro.
Okay, hold on. So, I thought he was like our DB coach's son, and I was a cornerback. I was a corner. So I was like, let me get cool with, this guy, and then, probably, get closer with my coach. And then it turned out he wasn't. It was just some random guy.
Yo, this guy was finna use me to get a starting spot.
But then, like, I feel like pretty soon we, like, built a really, like, great connection. We started off, we just started off talking about sports, what the workouts were going to be and whatnot we're going to do in practice that day. But then we started playing, Fortnite and stuff together. Mm-hmm. And then when I had broke my hand, you had started playing on my account for me, so I could finish that battle pass.
Got the John Wick for this, man, or was it Omega?
No, it was. I think it was a John Wick. It was for sure John Wick because it's season 2.
Yeah, because my little cousin was at my house.
Mm-hmm.
But just piggybacking off what you said earlier, whenever we had met, and that was kind of the point where I won't say where I knew I wanted to pursue like football as the main stance in my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do in high school. So whenever I was doing that, my 4 years of playing high school football were, I don't want to seem like a guy who's like the high school glory.
Yeah, like living in the past.
Yeah, I don't want to live in the past, but however, those 4 years, it kind of motivated me to what I'm doing now in a sense, because me playing football, and I wanted to play college football, and I felt like I had the chance and the opportunity to go D2, D1.
You had the skill set.
The skill set too, but it didn't end up happening. I wasn't as big as the other guys on my team. The coaches didn't really. I guess I didn't really get promoted, recruited enough, but even though that didn't happen, just me being able to play those 4 years and actually fall in love with the game of football kind of pushed me to love college football, high school football, NFL, all types of football, USFL, XFL, stuff like that. But doing all that kind of made me just fall in love with the game, So whenever I got to college, it was like, what should I do? I want to market. I want to be like a social media manager for the Cowboys or something. But whenever I got here, it just didn't give me what I needed, like I said earlier. So I come back and look, I go talk to my advisor, and she's like, yeah, we can do this for you. And basically what I'm doing now, the media arts, Converge Broadcast Media, and just me getting the opportunities I'm getting now kind of laid the stone for me. And it's honestly just going really good right now.
And one more thing before we move on. Earlier you were talking about, people that kind of you inspired you, but that really inspired you. You looked up to and you try to get on the same level as them. The people in my life that I forgot to speak on, but I wanted to get a chance to talk about were people like Gendy Tartakovsky. He created shows like Unicorn, Samurai Jack. A lot of the great shows from our childhood and in our past. People like him. There's people like Dan Harmon who created Community, which is one of I think is one of the best sitcoms, television sitcoms of all time. He also created Rick and Morty, which is a very popular show right now, which I really enjoy.
Love that show.
Exactly, it's a good show. And then there's people in the movies industries. There's people like James Gunn, who takes his love of comic books, these characters, and he creates very unique stories. People were already a fan of the MCU before he had joined and got himself attached to that. But then he joined with Guardians of the Galaxy. He brought this new group, this weird group that nobody really understood, and made these people relatable, and people kind of attached themselves to these band of weirdos. People like him, Steven Spielberg. He has a great sense of adventure, and great directors and showrunners and creators. Just like those are the people that inspire me to do what I want to do.
So speaking on that, who was the first guy that kind of laid that setting stone for you that made you realize I want to be like him? What was it? Genndy Tartakovsky?
Genndy, he was a big inspiration for me. But I didn't really know who he was before, right? I didn't know. I just knew because I really liked animation. I like people like Alex Hirsch who made Gravity Falls. People like those people. But the people that inspired me were really the on-screen kind of actors that kind of went out there and produced their own shows, right? You had people like Malcolm and Eddie, from Malcolm Joyner Warner and Eddie Griffin, who were Malcolm was a part of the Cosby Show back in the '80s and the '90s and whatnot, and that he grew up with that, and then he wanted to create something like the Cosby Show, but he also had Eddie Griffin, who was a big stand-up comedian, and they wanted to create their own show. So it's like I was always familiar with these people higher up in the industry, but I feel like the people like on screen, and then not specifically, I don't want to be an actor or nothing like that, but the way they went out and created their own shows to reach out to other people. There's people like Eddie Huang who made the show Fresh Off the Boat, which I really enjoy about his time in the '90s or growing up as an Asian American, with two Asian parents. So people like those that were able to create those stories, create the relatability that I want to create,
Yeah. So has being mixed, I know you're Black and Asian.
Yeah.
Has being Black and Asian kind of like put you towards kind of seeing people who are also your race, or just Black or just Asian, kind of seeing them? Does that kind of motivate you?
Yeah, for sure. Like growing up, I definitely say I was more, because if you look at me, you wouldn't assume that I'm a Black man, right? You assume that I'm just Asian. But I'm really proud of being both Black and Asian. So growing up, I didn't really have on TV, someone to, look up to. I had the people that had seen on TV and television and stuff like that. That was people like, Jackie Chan or Jet Li, the Kung Fu guys, Asian people, they know Kung Fu, stuff like that. Or they were nerds. They were like, I'm super smart, I'm Asian, look at me. But then people started breaking the mold a little bit. You got people like London Tipton, who wasn't a traditional Asian. She was really the opposite. Where Asians were projected as nerdy people. London Tipton was stupid. She wasn't smart at all. But it was really with Fresh Off the Boat. I saw this little Asian kid who loves hip hop, who loves Black culture, and like me being a product of both Black culture and Asian culture. I really was able to grasp onto that show, and Eddie Huang, Hudson Yang, who did a wonderful job in that series. I was able to latch myself onto him, and that's where I was like, I want to make something for the Asian community, for the Black community, because I might not have the same experiences as people that are 100% Black, that because your experiences are definitely different than mine, because I don't have to go through as many hardships as you, because I don't look like you do, right? But I also
we all have our own hardships.
Exactly, we all have our own hardships. So I want to create stories that will affect people in a positive way. So like I want people to see their situations represented on TV, whether that's positive or negative, because I feel like people need to be adjusted or attributed to other people's experiences, so it helps us create a better understanding of each other, and helps us stay together and bond.
Exactly, and everyone has their right to tell their own story. So just hearing that from you, I feel like that's really motivational in a way. And if you're listening to this and you agree with Jreese, I definitely do myself, but definitely I would take that to heart.
All right, let's go ahead and get off into our next topic. I was talking about Eddie Huang and how his love of hip hop, kind of helped relate to me. What is your music taste as of today, and how did you get there? Like, how did you create this unique music taste that you have?
So I listen to everything, y'all. I got playlists. I got rap. I got R&B. I got country, pop, sad, drill.
Got some Latin up in
Yeah,
there.
I do got a Spanish playlist. I do. I forgot about that one. But I do got all types of playlists. Me growing up, I definitely got into rap first because it was just a family thing. I didn't control what was on the radio.
Yeah.
I didn't control what my dad played in the car. And the first song I can like remember even like comprehending was Right Above It by Lil Wayne.
Okay.
And I used to listen to it every Saturday before my FFL football game. And
Little pregame hype.
yes, literally pregame hype. And to this day, I still know all the words to that song. And it was just kind of one of the most, like, you take that to heart too. Like, the first song, like, you'll really comprehend. And that song should not have been heard for a child.
Yeah.
Anything Lil Wayne, and I was like 7, 8 years old, that should not have been played near me. But
The first Lil Wayne song I ever heard was like I was 8-year-old. I was 8-year-old and I heard "Lollipop" for the first time. It took me a while to find out it wasn't about lollipops.
It took me a minute, and they have another song. It's by Jason Derulo. I forget which one it is, but it took me a minute to figure out that it wasn't about what it was. Oh, what's it called? And that Flo Rida song, bro.
Oh, Whistle.
Yes, bro. Yeah. That song, that took me a minute to figure out. But,
I never realized how many songs, the message really just went over my head when I was younger.
Bro. You'll never figure it out. But I kind of branched out to other genres kind of whenever I got into college. Because throughout high school, I got more into R&B whenever I met Jaden. And that was my freshman, sophomore year of high school. And I kind of got put on whenever he played Room 723 by Tyus. Y'all should go listen to it. But that was for real, that pain. And the thing is, I had even listened to a lot of R&B growing up because I grew up with my mom and my sister, and all they did was listen to R&B. My sister was a big Bieber fan, actually.
Okay.
But besides Justin Bieber, she listened to a lot of R&B. So I kind of knew a lot. It's just that I didn't listen to it a lot. And even in my teenage years, I was kind of in that phase where I would listen to Migos, Famous Dex, Lil Skies, Trippie Redd, all those guys. But once I got into college, I definitely got into classical music more. My freshman year of college, I met this one girl, and she kind of introduced me to classical music, and I loved it. And it's so weird because anytime I play COD nowadays, I just listen to classical music.
That doesn't sound right. Killing people, listening to classical music, that sounds
it doesn't even sound right.
Odd combination.
Yeah. And just stuff with pop. I mean, pop, you just know all your life, bro. Like, whenever you're in elementary school, your teacher's playing What Does the Fox Say, bro. Yeah. And then you hear Party in the USA, stuff like that. But just in general, I've known pop all my life because even the place I grew up. Me and Jreese grew up in the same city, Frisco, Texas. But just knowing that, that's just how I kind of listen to a variety of everything.
Well, me, I'm kind of the same, right? I kind of grew up listening to a lot of pop. My dad listened to some R&B music, but it was mainly just the only R&B music my dad really listened to was Michael Jackson. So that was like my first, kind of introduction to R&B. Even though he is a king of pop, he did a lot of R&B music growing up in Motown and stuff like that. But when I got to like the 4th grade, that's when I started listening to a lot of rap music because that's just what everybody else listened to. So I was like, let me listen to this. And I still enjoy rap to this day, but that's really my first introduction to that. But when I first started to form my identity with my music playlist and my music, the music genres that I enjoy, was when I got to my freshman year of high school because that's when the New Edition story dropped. I didn't know who New Edition was before that. I knew like the basic R&B artists, I knew T-Pain, Chris Brown, Neo, who was my all-time favorite R&B artist. But when I watched the New Edition story, I was like, who are these dudes and why are they hitting, bro?
Yeah.
And then after that, that's when I started forming my playlist. That's when my first R&B playlist that I had made was my old school playlist, and that's the only one I listened to all of freshman year. And then when I got over to the sophomore year, I really found that pain pack. I found out all the sad music, the sad R&B artists, and then that's when I had met you. And every time we rode in the car together, the first song I'd always play when you got in the car
was
Room 723.
Bro.
Tyus incredible. But then when I got to college, that's when I started, being like, let me go ahead and find other things because R&B is great, rap is great, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that is great that I'm limiting myself to because I'm only listening to these two, specific genres.
And even when you get to college, you meet a bunch of people that you be like, you listen to this, and then they play it, and you're like, okay, yeah,
this makes sense.
This John Fire.
This makes sense. But it started off, getting the first little mix, right, the little mix of because I really enjoyed the kind of mix of R&B and rap. So I like the people that did a little bit of both. I like the Fabos. I like the Tysus. Tysus doesn't really do it. I like Blast. Blast is mainly a rapper, but he gets that R&B feel. The Drakes, the Chris Browns, the Tory Lanez, they mix and match in both realms, right? They go back and forth. But then once I got in college, I started listening more, more of my mom's music, because my mom really she listened to R&B, but she didn't listen to R&B like that. She could listen to a lot more, the early '80s rocks and stuff like that. Some of that country music. I'm still not a big fan of country, but I'm starting to enjoy some of it a little bit more and a little bit more. And then now I have like all my playlists like that separated in between like emotions, right? I have my It's Just a Vibe playlist where that's where you get to all the mainly the rap music, but you get the kind of like the house music. You also get in that. I got my old school R&B playlist, which is like real deep. It's like 1,500 probably more songs. I have my sad playlist. I have my love songs playlist. I have my my other language playlist. That's where you get my Spanish music. I got some K-pop in there. I got some. I told you earlier I was into some Jackie Chan because that boy Jackie Chan can sing. People don't know that. That boy has a voice.
But yeah, man, and even I want to go back to the part where you were on country, and I'm surprised you actually listened to it because your mom. But I'm kind of big on country. I'm actually going to Zach Bryan's concert in what?
No,
10 days, I think. It's October 21st. That might be 8 days. So I'm going there for his concert. But I'm big on Zach Bryan. I'm big on Morgan Wallen, even though, he had that
controversy.
That little controversy. But, I mean, if Lil Durk can forgive him, so can I guess. But I
He's
think...
Jimmy Butler's favorite. I love Jimmy Butler, so whatever Jimmy Butler says goes.
But, yeah, man, I definitely got way more into country whenever I got to college too. I think it's like I just keep coming back to it, bro. Whenever you get here, it's like an understatement. You gotta really think about it and how much it really changes you. Getting older and coming to college and just meeting new people in general. And if you would have told me like my junior year of high school, you'd be like, yeah, you're gonna love country music in like 3 years. I would have been like, you're crazy. I'd be like, country music is trash, and I literally would have called you crazy. But now,
you're expanding your palette, your taste.
Exactly, expanding my horizon.
Right.
So,
go ahead.
But yeah, man, that was mainly it, and just a bunch of stuff that people should definitely listen to.
Like over the past year, of course, since our like we said, our palettes are expanding. We're listening to new artists every day. Over the last year, who has been your most played artist, or who's been your favorite artist that you've discovered in the past year? We'll limit it to top 5. We'll give you some honorable mentions, but let's keep it at top 5.
So I didn't like really put anybody that I kind of discovered this year. But I did want to put just the main guys I've kind of listened to this year. And I do want to start off with Rod Wave. He dropped Nostalgia this year. I'm going to his concert in December 9th. And I'm really excited for it. And just in general, he's been one of my favorite artists for the last 3 years, man. I mean, me and my roommate last year, all we would do was listen to Rod Wave.
Big boys love Rod Wave.
Come on now, boy. And I'm already knowing. And then, second of all, he dropped an album this year, and it took me a minute to kind of like his music, but, and you might come in crazy with this, Jaden, but I really like Yeet now. I like Yeet, bro.
Not a big Yeet fan.
Bro, Afterlife was fire, and he brought a style you don't really see from everybody, you feel me? Whenever he came into the game, it's just like, it's not things you will just necessarily listen to or see, but you kind of have to get used to it. And even the Drake feature he has on For All
he
the Dogs
low-key
was
carried
good.
Drake, I'm not gonna lie.
He carried Drake on that song, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And third, people might call me crazy for this, but I really still mess with Gunna.
Okay.
He ain't snitch on me.
I respect it.
He ain't snitch on me.
Bro's flow is crazy.
But yeah, bro, a Gift and a Curse was fire. And just nobody can walk on a beat like Gunna, bro. And if anyone could, rest his soul has got to be Big Scar. But, and then fourth of all, I have A Boogie. I've been on A Boogie since I was a youngin', bro. Like, probably, I was like 10, and that was probably one of my favorite artists after Lil Wayne and Drake. So me listening to him, I think my first song I listened to was early. It was like the first song I listened to was Not a Regular Person, and he has the gorilla as his the song cover, and that's just kind of what made me remember the song, and I just think it was a good song, and just all of his albums after that have, in my opinion, just been hits, and I've loved them. And then last of all, I have Drake, of course, which we're gonna talk about later, but this guy can just never fall off, bro. He's always gonna drop an album. People are always gonna say, "Oh, it's mid," but we know the truth.
We know you're a fan of Drake in silence. You just don't want to be on the Drake train for some reason.
Exactly, man. And one thing I'm glad about, he did do a feature with Cole, and Cole has been one of my favorite artists for the last few years too. And I need him to drop another album soon because if he did, he definitely would have been on this list. So what about you?
See where you went with your most, like the people you listen to most. I went with a different route. I did more of the artists that I really started to grow on, that I really started to appreciate a lot more over the past year. And where you went a lot of rappers, I did mainly just R&B artists. But I'm gonna give a couple of honorable mentions. I'm gonna give an honorable mention to Fabo. Like I said earlier, he does a little bit of both with the rap and the R&B. Russell, Russell, he's an Asian R&B artist, and bro, he doesn't drop enough where it's like I'm for sure gonna put him in my top 5, but he's been dropping really great music consistently, and I don't think he's had a song that I didn't like in the past. I don't think in his entire discography. Well, that's Russell, but he was a different. He's been like a different artist before. I forgot his other name. But he was an artist before, and he has a bunch of music on Apple Music and stuff, and all the other streaming platforms that I still think is good. I just don't think it as I don't like it as much as I do as his Russell music. Destiny Conrad, I don't like him as much as Russell, but I think he has a great singing voice. And over the past year, I've been getting more. I've been listening to more of his music, and I think he's a really great artist. And one more honorable mention, which might surprise you, have Tyus. Because Tyus is my favorite current day R&B artist, but he be lying too much, bro.
Hey, what did he say,
okay,
Jreese? Let him know.
All right, Tyus, when he drops, it's always going to be a banger. Tyus does not miss. I don't think I've ever heard a song from Tyus that I have not liked. I like all his music. I like all his leaks. I like all of it. But over like the past 2 or 3 years, he keeps promising new music. Hey, I'm dropping this soon. I'm dropping this soon. I'm dropping this soon. And he posted on his Instagram page and everything, his only social media account. He doesn't drop it, then he doesn't drop it, then he doesn't. And so it's like at the point where I'm still a really big fan of yours, but I can't trust you when you say I'm dropping this.
Yeah.
I don't have that consistency from you.
And I feel you. I kind of want to spit some honorable mentions here too. I think my first honorable mention will definitely be Joey Badass.
Oh yeah.
And I remember it was 2012 where he ended up dropping 1999, and I didn't even end up listening to it until not even listening to it until like 2019, 2020. And I know that because Dorian had put me on.
Oh, yeah.
We have a friend named Dorian.
Shout out Dorian,
man. But he had posted about it, and I was like, hold on, let me listen to this. And I'm listening to Survival Tactics. I'm listening to From the Tombs, Killuminati, World Domination. And I'm like, this is hard.
You do not miss?
He don't miss. And the thing is, like you think of Joey Bad, you think of Infinity, back when he did with X. You think of
Mhm.
Devastated, Love Is Only a Feeling,
Yeah.
Temptation. But listening to that album, and he actually just dropped not too long ago. It was last year, in 2022. He had dropped 2000, and that was honestly one of my favorite albums of the year too. And my favorite song on it was "Show Me," and he sampled "Show Me How" by Men I Trust, and that was just a really that was a really good song for me. I was actually listening to it last night, but that was pretty good. And I also want to talk about. Man, I forgot who I was gonna talk about, but anyways, just Joey Bad in general. But that's my honorable mention.
All right, let me get into my top 5 list now. All right, this number 5 is El Meme. All right, El Meme is a UK artist, and right out of everybody on my list, he probably has the best voice out of all of them. He's an amazing singer. He's such a great artist. His music is so soft and gentle, and it's just and he always has a nice acoustics in the back. He has the guitar playing, he has the piano playing, and it's just everything he does, whether it's sad, it's love songs. He doesn't do nothing. I haven't heard anything really. It's really, fast, upbeat music, but just his voice, his range that he has, is so incredible. I love listening to his music. Number 4, I have Devin Morrison. Right, Devin Morrison. He has a little. He puts a little bit more auto-tune in his songs, but when he sings, it's such a vibe, bro. I don't know how to explain it other than it's a vibe, right? You get a little bit of, it feels a little funky when he's listening to music. Like you just want to like get up and groove, right? You have songs like Bussin'. You have songs you have Pretty Brown Jones. He's on what's it called? He's on Yams by Masego. And he's on another song that I really like called it's dang, I forgot what it was called, but it's a song in my An Angel in Disguise playlist. If you follow me on Apple Music, you can go find that. But but I really love his music. Number 3, like we were talking about earlier, Dorian, he put you on Joey Badass. Mm-hmm. Dorian put me on this guy, Jeff Burnett, right? Another Asian dude, right? And for a while I was like, the only R&B artist I really listen to, really listen to, were like black people. You know what I'm saying? But then I was like, why am I doing that? That's stupid. So when I was making these playlists, Dorian had put me on with Jeff Burnett with Once Upon a Time. And then I listened to that for a while, but that was the only song I listened to from him for like a few years. But over the past year, I've listened to more and more of his songs, and as he gets more popular, I'm like, all right, I wasn't rocking him way before, but I was rocking with him before you guys. So yeah. I'm better than you. No, I'm playing. I'm better than you. I'm playing. But Jeff Burnett, you have Miss Seductive, you have Call You My Own. You have what a lot of people listen to right now is Wrong About Forever, which is a really great song. That whole little EP he did with that features that song. I think it's also called Wrong About Forever. That whole little 4-song EP is in my feelings playlist because it had me ready to cry and ask her why she don't want me. But number 2, I have Grant Perez. Grant Perez is more of a pop artist, but he also has a great voice, and every time I listen to him, it's just a vibe, right? He makes me wanna, where Devin Morrison is more funk, makes me wanna dance like just groove. He doesn't make me wanna dance, he makes me wanna groove. Grant Perez makes me wanna dance. Like he makes me wanna go white girl dance in the middle of the street,
He's actually got a concert coming up not too long ago. Is
it gonna be here?
He's gonna be here. I looked at tickets not too long ago. They're about like $89, $100 a piece.
Hey. Them Bills are gonna have to suffer because I'm gonna have to go to that Grant Perez concert. But I love Grant Perez. I put Dorian on Grant Perez with Clementine. So I have that over you, Dorian. But number 1 is Dylan Sinclair, right? Dylan Sinclair he sings a lot about love and heartbreak and stuff like that. So when I first started listening to him was through Black Creek Drive, and that's my late night drives playlist, and he has a lot of songs like that where it's good at late at night, but he has such a great voice, and it's such a unique voice, where it kind of sounds, it's like Chase Shakur, but a little bit deeper, but not really, because they have 2 different styles the way they sing. So I feel like Dylan Sinclair with songs like Open, which features Destin Conrad, that I mentioned earlier in my honorable mentions, and he has songs like like I said earlier, Black Creek Drive. He has Girl. He has songs like Never featuring Joyce Wright. Like Rice, he's just such a great artist that I really enjoy listening to. And most of these artists that I've mentioned, I really got into because of one dude. If you were interested in finding more about R&B music, one dude you can find him on TikTok and Instagram. He has a Twitter account, but he's not as active on that Twitter account. But Gen Direct Music, he put me on a lot of this music that I really enjoy. I really love listening to seeing his content, because I love finding out new music, because he goes way deeper into new music than me. Like, he put me on a lot of the foreign language R&B music that I listen to. He put me on a lot of the late night drive music. He put me on a lot of, old school music. He puts me on a lot of music that I just really enjoy. So shout out to Gen Direct. He's such a great content creator, and I really appreciate everything he does.
Most definitely. And I do want to put some more artists in here. I have one of my guys, I forgot about him earlier, but Elliot Trent.
Elliot Trent, what a dog.
Yes, bro, what a dog. And the first time I've ever heard him sing was whenever he dropped Diamond Mines with Trippie Redd.
You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Another person I'll put on.
Yeah, Diamond Mines by Trippie Redd, he was on there. And he's also had The First Time, Prime Time. And one of my favorite songs by him is Don't Go in the Into the Night EP. That song is so hard. And
just to talk about him, if you go onto his SoundCloud, he has a lot of really great music on his SoundCloud that he hasn't released on his other streaming. So if you want to go look into that, it's really great. That's where I was introduced to him way before he dropped, The First Time and all that. So, go back and look at that. It's really great.
And then a guy that I kind of listened to more my freshman year was Lucky Day. He's not like any underground. Everyone knows.
Yeah, everybody knows Lucky Day.
But Lucky Day, I like Roll Some More, Late Night, NWA with Lil Durk.
Yeah.
But even guys like Oliver Tree too. Life Goes On. But just the gist. There's just a lot of people in R&B that just have that versatile type of style to them.
All right. Here's the thing that it's about time to get into. Right. It's been a week. You know what this is going to be. You know who this is about to be. We talked about him earlier. Got For the Dogs. For all the dogs.
Champagne Poppy.
The review. All right. I'll let you go ahead and kick this one off.
But yeah, man, my review for all the dogs, just Drake has yet doubled down on a range of styles. Drill, underworld R&B, and he even kind of took a Playboy Cardi flow to the album. And I think the beats on this project were honestly really tough. And just the lyricism and the vocals on this project were on point too. So, and there's a lot of features on this album, but however, besides Yee, I feel like nobody really overpowered Drake as a feature. And by saying that, I think we haven't heard like this type of solo Drake in a minute. You feel me? So maybe even since Views, and we'll get into that later. I'll talk about it later. But and I know some people will even say, people say this every time, that it's not that good of an album for Drake or it's a step back. But just give it time. It'll come around full circle.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of disagree with you on that one. All right, look.
That's completely fine.
What I have to say is this is not a bad album at all, right? It's pretty good. It's not as great as Drake's other albums, but I feel like where I really disagree with you is there was another feature besides Z that kind of outperformed Drake on his own songs. I disagree on that. I think
better not say Party.
Bro, not look.
Better not say Party.
I'm a big P&D guy.
I know you are.
But I feel like that I can't put P&D over Drake because whenever they get together, they're always making a banger. So I feel like they have to be just I can't say one's over the other because when they get together, it's just a bop no matter what. So whatever I say about that, it's just I'll leave it as that put it on his own little realm. But I think J. Cole outdid him on First Person Shooter. I think SZA outdid him on Slime You Out. And I think SZA outdid him on Rich Baby Daddy, And then I don't think that Sexy Red outdid him, but she had me ready to throw ass.
Bro, what?
She had me ready to throw ass as a grown man. I'm not gonna lie, she was
crazy.
She was hitting that. But this album was really good. Over his last 2 years, he dropped 4 albums, and over these 4 albums, I'd say this is probably his second best. I really think Certified Lover Boy is really, the best album out of the past few years that Drake has dropped. But even I'll go more into Certified Lover Boy later. But when compared to Her Loss and Honestly Nevermind, I really appreciate that Drake is trying these other things. Right? Honestly Nevermind, people are like, what the heck is this? This is whack. When Honestly Nevermind is really like a dance album. So it's like he's giving you that different feel. And then you get Her Loss with 21 Savage, where they're just they're just going crazy the whole time. But I think over the past 4 years past 2 years, the 4 albums that he has dropped, it definitely would go Certified Lover Boy, For All the Dogs, Her Loss, and then Honestly Nevermind. But that's not saying that I really don't enjoy any of these albums. I really enjoy certain aspects of all these albums. But specifically in this album, I really enjoyed, Tried Our Best, which is a leak that was going on TikTok for a minute. Everybody was ready for this. Now people want to say it's trash, which is crazy.
That's going to happen every time.
I know. Like, he gave you what you want, and you're still going to be like, I don't like it. Like, you asked for it.
How about you make the album?
I'm saying you make the album. Members only, like we said earlier. Drake was saying he had this one weird bar in there. I forgot what it was, but it was like some on the lines like, it's like something about how she's one of the guys, and then Drake's never gonna leave. Is Drake a little zesty? He's never gonna leave those accusations behind.
Yeah.
But members only. You have Bahamas Promises, which will have you crying in the shower.
No.
I do right with that. I heard that little at the beginning. I was like, yep. I just had to stop it. I was like, I gotta prepare myself mentally. It's October Drake. That's October Drake right there.
It's October.
It's
October.
It's
bro.
October, but I really think it's not gonna be one of his best albums, but it's definitely not gonna be one of his worst. I'll say it's right in the middle of his pack, the middle of the pack of all his albums and all his music catalog that he has dropped.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll let you go introduce the next topic.
But yeah, man, our next topic, we're gonna kind of stick to the Drake topic. And we're going to go over his top 5 albums. Mm-hmm. And I got my list right here, but I'm going to go ahead and start off with you, Jreese. I want to hear this because I know you said C.O.B. was up there, and I just want to see where it is on this list. So I'm going to go ahead and let you start it off.
Okay. I feel like my top 3 is about the same as where everybody else puts these 3 albums. So I'm going to go ahead with number 5 is If You're Reading This Is Too Late. Right, I really enjoyed this album. I first listened to it when I was in the 7th grade. I remember because it was when I had this one really mean English teacher, and then because me and my friends were in the back over there singing Legends and whatnot. But
if I die, I'm a legend.
It's such a great song, man. But yeah, I definitely learned to appreciate this album more as I started listening to new music and all that. Because then you have Wednesday Night Interlude with Party Next Door. You have there's a Six Guy was on it, if I'm not mistaken. Like Drake has been in this business for so long that that far into his career, which is like I think which album was it? Was it like his 6th album at the time?
This was his 6th album.
His 6th album, and like he's still producing hits after hits was still really great. Number 4 is where I have Certified Lover Boy. Okay, this might be controversial, but I really love Certified Lover Boy. Certified Lover Boy has I heard people singing the song a lot with Get Along Better, with Ty Dolla $ign. And by the way, shout out to Ty Dolla $ign. Whatever he's on the song, he always makes it better. No matter what the song is.
Vocals.
He hits them vocals. And the thing, he doesn't always get his credit. He's always in the background. It's like this, that song, he did the very end of the song, but he was in the background doing vocals. But that's, discussed for another day. But you had songs like that. You had TSU. You had Poppy's Home. You had that version of Rich Baby Daddy with Way Too Sexy. With Future. And you had In Too Deep with Future. I just think that the collection of songs and the way he got those people together, and I feel like that was one of the better album rollouts that I had seen in the most recent years. Yeah. Right, with Certified Lover Boy. And I remember staying up till 12 o'clock at night. I didn't stay up till 6 o'clock in the morning for All the Dogs, but I definitely stayed up till 12 o'clock to listen to some Certified Lover Boy. And I was like, my dad came in and started listening to some Certified Lover Boy. My dad doesn't like rap music, I would say he doesn't like rap music that much, but he came in dancing to some Drake. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be this one's different. Number 3, I have Views. Right, I really like Views. I didn't listen to Views all the way through until pretty recently, like in the past couple. I think it was 2 years ago when I first listened to it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I still enjoy it a lot. It has really great songs. It has Redemption. Is it Teenage Fever's on that album? Am I
Which
wrong?
one?
Teenage Fever.
Yes.
Yeah, that's album.
Well, that might be on More Life.
Is it on? But I know that. But this album had like one dance and stuff. Oh no,
Yeah.
okay, I'll make sure. But this album, was really good. But my top 2, I feel like really, kind of shaped my what kind of Drake that I really like. Because I like number 2 is Nothing Was the Same, right? That dropped when I think I was just leaving elementary school, or I was just getting into, it was like a couple years before, or it was right when I got into middle school. But I remember listening to Just Hold On, We're Going Home every day on the radio, on every station. It was on the pop stations. It was on the rap stations. You might go to old school playlist stations. You got that playing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on a country station at one point.
Yeah.
But that song was just so great and so iconic. And growing up, I realized what other songs were on the album and how great those songs were. Right? You get Too Much. You get Tuscan Leather. You get it's just such a great album. And I feel like it would be number 1 for me if Take Care didn't exist. All right.
That's crazy.
I love Take Care, man. Marvin's Room is top of that sad playlist. You already know that's on everybody's sad playlist. If you don't have Marvin's Room on there, you're not really sad for real.
In fact, you gotta be doing something wrong.
You gotta be doing something wrong, man. It has Crew Love, which is crazy because then you realize that The Weeknd was a really big contributor to this album, and this was prime Weeknd. Depending on how you feel about The Weeknd now, I feel like most people can agree that back then, his early career, his early days of The Weeknd, with the hair and all that, this was the best Weeknd you got, and you got him writing for Drake, right? You get Take Care with Rihanna, and and those 2 albums really showed me what R&B Drake was, right? What you got that in his earlier albums, like was it Who Said Land in Vegas? Is that what the album was called? Yeah, that album. You had what was the one after that? Was that his second album? The one with Best I Ever Had.
What's it called? So Far Gone?
Yeah, that one. No, that was the first album. That's my bad. That's his first album. It was the second.
I can't remember.
I can't remember, but those are like when I realized recognize R&B Drake, right? And that's when I was like, Drake is a really great rapper. I also think the Motto was on Take Care as well, and the Motto this was definitely like 4th or 5th grade because everybody in 4th or 5th grade was singing the Motto every day at the lunch table.
That's crazy. We were like 9.
Exactly. And then everybody was singing the Motto, which is crazy. Lil Wayne again, back to Lil Wayne. But I feel like Drake shaped me so much, as an artist with these albums, especially with Take Care. You have him singing on Marvin's Room, and it has the most iconic, if you leave Drake a voicemail, get ready to be on one of his songs, right? After that, Drake, you leaving a voicemail for Drake, you're gonna be on one of his best songs on the album, right? It's just, I don't think I have anything more else to say. It's just how much I love those albums, man.
So yeah, man, I respect the list. I can't help but respect it.
All right.
However, my top 5, at number 5, I'm gonna start off with More Life.
Okay.
And just with More Life, I love the South African type of vibes in the songs, and it just gives a whole different vibe to the whole album. You feel me?
I feel you.
So, and I honestly think this was one of his most underrated albums, and seriously one of his best work, even though I put it at 5. But since way back, 4422, Teenage Fever, KMT are just a couple of great songs in this album. Just don't try to listen to it whenever you're sad. You might regret it. But at 4, I'm going to put If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And one thing, Drake actually said this one time, but he never really mentioned that this was one of his favorite albums. And I feel like a lot of people don't really notice that, but it's probably because it didn't really have anything like Hotline Bling or like started from the bottom, like a career defining moment. Even though it had what's it called? What was the song?
It had Legend. It had
Legend.
Wednesday Night Interlude.
Yes, and I do want to say it kind of felt like a in between album because What a Time to Be Alive had dropped the same year. And that was a really good album too with Future, yes. And at 3, I had to put it Certified Lover Boy.
You already know.
And this album was just a crazy time in life because Donda had dropped at the same time. And
you had the war between the Kanye fans and the Drake fans.
And I never really understood, like, the war because it was just like, how about we just enjoy it? But, like, I kind of like to stir the pot a little bit. I was like, Donda's better, bro. But deep down, I knew that C.O.B. was better. But it was just a great project for, like, fans of melodic rap, R&B, and just pure bars in general, you feel me? So it just feels like a classic. Drake lets him know that Poppy's home, and
he was home.
He was home, and I feel like it just gets better with every listen you think about, bro. And you got like slow rap verses that speak to the heart. You got champagne poetry. You got Yeba's Heartbreak, bro. Those songs were crazy. And you got other songs like You Only Live Twice and Pipe Down. That's honestly one of my favorite songs on the album.
Pipe Down. I Miss You Too. I forgot that earlier. With Kid Cudi. Man, that had me missing her too. I'm not gonna lie.
I know, and just seeing those, just the album just felt almost perfect, bro. And at second, I have Take Care, and you might call me crazy for that. Some people are gonna call me crazy.
I already know what your number 1 is.
You know, we talked about this.
So I'm glad Take Care is in your number 2, but because I already know what your number 1 is. But you know, I still think it's number 1.
But yeah, bro, this was really the album where Drake kind of established himself as an MC who can swerve from the street to the club, after hours, drunk dialing his girl, be like, come over, please, I miss you. Just without him being able to lose himself all along the way.
Yeah, I feel like especially before, people still enjoyed his like music, but this is still when he was, you know, wheelchair Jimmy, right? He just got shot on Degrassi, and he's, you know, rolling around that wheelchair. So people thought of, is he a rapper? Is he an actor? You know, the same kind of, you know, criticism that you had with Jamie Foxx back in the 90s when he started diving into music. People were like, is he really an artist or is he just a comedian? But then this is where he really shows you, hey, I got that shit on lock. Listen to what I gotta say. And we all listen. From then on, we never stopped listening.
We all knew, baby. And at number 1, Jreese already know what I'm going to say. It is Views, bro.
Yep.
Views is Drake's best album. And half of the reason I'm saying that is because for me, it's a personal favorite. I mean, just so many hits on this album overall. And I was in 7th grade when it first dropped. And it was kind of the first album where I kind of sat down and, like, my first time actually sitting down and listening to a whole Drake album. Like, just sitting there. Like, I wasn't even playing video games. I was just like, dang. Because at the time, I had liked this girl, and Drake really made me feel it, bro, because she ain't want me. I was like, no. But, I mean, just overall a great album, bro, and captivating themes. And I feel like some people see the album as, like, a snooze fest, bro. That was, like, the first album that I actually downloaded. I listen to the album every time I'm on a plane. Cause low key, to this day, because it was the first album I actually downloaded. I download songs now because I'm like smarter with all that.
Yeah.
But I feel like some of the people who don't like Views or say, "Oh, it's not top 5," it's just unfair criticism, bro. Like that album is definitely up there.
Yeah. So. Can we just talk about for a second how amazing it is that Drake, to this day, however many albums he's on, however many years he's been in the business, how he's still producing hits after hits, right? He's still people's, you know, one of their favorite artists to this day, you know, and he's been in this industry for so long, and like him and Wayne, you know, they've been in this industry kicking it for so long, and their ability to still, you know, produce bar after bar without it getting tired.
Shout out Wayne for Drake, man.
It's just so incredible.
But yeah, man, just in general, bro. views, top 2, and it's not 2. You got songs like "You With Me," "Feel No Ways," starting off the album with "Keep the Family Close." Like what, bro? Y'all gotta listen to it again, bro. "Redemption," "Child's Play," "Fire and Desire."
Drake
Hit
does
after
not
hit, he
ever
don't miss. He don't miss, and it's so hard to narrow it down to one album, or even just kind of choose the best song on this album. That's why it's number 1, because I feel like on a lot of other Drake albums, there's a definite number 1 song on the album, but for this one, the number 1 song won't even be the most popular one, which is probably "One Dance." So just that being the most popular song of this album and it's not even the best is crazy.
All right, you have anything else to say to the people at home listening?
I mean, all I got is thank y'all for tuning in, man. I mean, if you're still here, appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed what we talked about today. Hopefully y'all have views as number 1 too.
Hopefully y'all have Take Care as number 1. My bad for my partner here. He was like, he got his words mixed up.
Nah, bro, views definitely got it, bro.
But yeah, definitely thank you for tuning in. Next time you see us, we'll be talking about more NFL again, more how our top 5 teams may have changed and stuff like that over the course of this weekend. Because last night you saw the Broncos lose to the Chiefs, but it wasn't a really pretty game for the Chiefs as well. Against one of the worst defenses in the league. But we'll go more into that. And you'll see that episode either Monday or Tuesday.
Most definitely. Thank y'all for getting to know us, and we'll see y'all next time.
All right, thank you again.